Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were looking at this Kahola Brahmanam, in which the Vakya is there. Vyuthaya Bhikshacharyam Charanti. So having turned away from the Yeshana Traya or Yeshana, two types of Yeshana, Sadhana Yeshana and Sadhya Yeshana. Yeshana itself means, you can say, desire or longing, like that. So the desire for acquiring means, desire for acquiring different ends, you turn away from both of them and then take to Bhikshacharya. Bhikshacharya here is a Upalakshana for sannyasa. Okay, Parivrajyam, like that Bhashyakara says. Now, here Bhashyakara says that this is a sannyasa vidhi, like that. It is like the Upanishad is asking you to take to sannyasa. Like that only he interprets it. For that, we already, I think we saw this Purva Paksha. There is a big, this whole paragraph is actually Purva Paksha. So in this paragraph, the Purva Pakshi is arguing that Vyuthaya Bhikshacharyam Charanti is actually Vartamana Apadesha, means it is in present tense. It is not like, it only say that they went for Bhikshacharya. You can take like that, correct? They go for Bhikshacharya. Somebody is going for Bhikshacharya. It doesn't say you have to go or something like that. It does not ask you to do anything like that. For that, it has to have in Sanskritam, any vidhi or any mandate requires this ling lot tavya pratyaya. So here instead of charanti, if it is charet or chareyuhu, like that and all, there are different types of verb forms are there. If charet or chareyuhu is there, then it is asking you to do that. It is mandating you to take to bhikshacharya or sannyasa, but here it is not like that. Therefore, it is only like it is for a praise only, praising the Atma Jnanam purpose only, it is said. Because they give up, sometimes we say, correct, people left everything and came for my show. That means it is just to show that how good your particular show or some cinema or something was. So it is a praise like that only. That's how the Purva Pakshi argues. Other than that, he gives lot more also. He talks about that here there is no vidhi because it is Vartamana, it is in present tense, but there are other vidhis are there, Yagyopaviti, Yeva, Adhiyita, Yajayet, Yajeta, and all that. So, being a Yagyopaviti only, you have to do Adhyayana. You go and you also do Yajna, etc. like that. So, the having all, you cannot say that you can give up all this Yagyopavita and other the sadhanas, okay, and the lingas, the indication, the indicatory signs, and also the whatever the means which are there to do karma and to attain karma phala. You cannot say you can give it up totally. And also during parivrajya also you have to do all these things. Can be by implication we can take that, because even in Apastamba Dharma Sutra they say that once you have done Veda Adhyayana, you cannot forget it or you cannot give it up. Okay, so then you again become like a Shudra and all. There is a Vakya there. And also, even if you are a Mauni, if you are a Mauna Vratam and all that, let us say, but you can give up that Mauna only for doing Swadhyaya. Like this also, the Apastamba Dharma Sutra is there that he is quoting here. And also, Manu also is saying that Brahmojham means again forgetting the Veda or giving up the Veda. Once you have done Adhyayanam, you cannot forget the Veda. It is It is a pataka. It is a dosha or a pataka equivalent to surapana. Others are also given here. That's not important for us. The Brahmojjam part is the important thing here. So Veda Parityagaha dosha Shravana is there. So for giving up the Veda Dhyanam and the lingas associated with that, it is a dosha. It is defective conduct. That is explicitly said here, but you are now saying that there is a vidhi so that you can give up all these things. And also when you are serving your guru or elders, etc., or even if you are doing japa, and even while eating, all these times you have to wear the yajnopavita like this. There is also a statement here. Therefore, even during parivraja lifestyle also, you may have to serve your guru or elders, or you may have to eat, and you may have to do achamanam. All this means you have to do as a yajnopaviti only, like that it is said in Shruti and Smriti. So you cannot give up. In fact, you are actually giving wrong advice. You are actually asking to give up whatever has been mandated, and you are now asking to do something which is not mandated. Okay. And also the yeshana, giving up the yeshana or yeshana vyutthanam is only with reference to those three which is mentioned there. It is not a general command or mandate to give up all karma and the karma sadhana. Like this, the Purva Pakshi is arguing. So finally he says, Sarva Parityage cha ashrutam kritam syat. So if you give up all the karma, then you are doing something which is not said by the Shruti. And also by taking away all this yajnopavita and other lingas, you are actually also going against the Shruti, because Shruti has mandated you to do that. So therefore it is a mahan aparadaha, he says. And finally, in fact, he uses the word andha parampara. This is all andha parampara means basically if you do something without any pramana. There is no Shruti pramana, there is no Smriti pramana. Without any pramana, you whatever occurs to you, you say that, and you are also asking others to follow. That means it is andha parampara, or it is a blind following the blind kind of a situation. Then Bhashyakara says, no, I am also telling this based on other Shruti Vakyas. So there is this Kata Rudra Shruti is there. Kata Rudra Upanishad, like that. There is a Upanishad from the Krishna Yajurveda. It is one of the 108 Upanishads. Okay. So there is actually Shankara has commented only on some 10 Upanishads. They are called principal Upanishads nowadays. But there are many more Upanishads. There is one Upanishad, Brahma Yogin. He has commented on 108 Upanishads. The 108 Upanishads themselves are listed in another Upanishad called Muktiko Upanishad. So the Muktiko Upanishad lists 108 Upanishads. In fact, there are more than 108 also. Whatever is listed in Muktiko Upanishad, there are 108. Out of that, this Kata Rudra Upanishad also is there as part of that. And so the Kata Upanishad is different. So you should not confuse between the two. Kata Rudra Upanishad is different. It is here again the sannyasa and all is talked about, and the second Vakya in this Upanishad itself is saying Yajnopavitam Vedanscha Sarvam Tad Varjayet Yatihi. So the Yati can give up all the Vedas and the Yajnopavita, etc. So it is said here, I am also quoting the Shruti. It's not that I am not quoting the Shruti. Then he is also, Bhashyakara is now explaining the rationale behind that also. Okay, so why do we say you have to give up all these things? This has to be clarified. So here it is there. Apicha Atma Jnana Paratvat Sarvasyaha Upanishadaha. So the Upanishad themselves, what is their Tatparya? What do they want to really reveal to you? Means it is only the Atma Jnanam. Upanishads are there only to reveal to you the self-knowledge. So they are all only dedicated for that purpose, all the Upanishads. And for that there is a vidhi also is there, that you have to know the Atma, where we already saw Atma va are drashtavyaha shrotavyaha mantavyaha iti hi prastutam. Already it was said in the Maitreyi Brahmanam this Atma Vare, Drashtavyaha, Shrotavyaha, there Tavya Pratyaya is there, so it can be taken as a Vidhi. So Sacha Atmaiva Sakshad Aparokshad Sarvantaraha Ashanayadi Samsara Dharma Varjitaha Ityevam Vijnaya. And how do you have to know this Atma? In what manner? You have to know this as that which is Sakshad Aparokshat, that which is something which is directly known, and it is also Aparoksha. It is always Aparoksha means what? See, even certain things which we directly experience, they can be Paroksha and then become Aparoksha, correct? Because something is there behind a mountain, you cannot even see it from here. But you can climb up the mountain and go there, and when you go near it, it now becomes whatever, Pratyaksha, means you can directly experience like that. So any objective knowledge, even if you know that through sense perception, it can be Pratyaksha. Then again, if you move away from there, if your senses do not maintain the contact, it will again become Paroksha. But when we say Aparoksha for Atma, you have to say that it is Nitya Aparoksha. That means it never goes away. It is always there, correct? I am always there. I am self-revealing, self-existent reality, and this never changes. And I am always available also. I can never say that I don't experience myself. I am always there. That is the Aparoksha. That is the beauty. Sakshad Aparokshat means that which you know directly, and also Aparokshat here actually Bhashyakara gives a meaning that it is Mukhyam Brahma. Also another meaning he gives. That is the meaning he gives. So Mukhyam Brahma means basically in some other places, even in the Upanishad, there are Vakya like Annam Brahma. In Upasana and all, so many things are talked about as Brahman, correct? You can do Upasana. We even saw in the Ajatashatru Brahmana, the Apara Brahma Upasana, so many types of Upasanas were talked about. So whenever Brahman is talked about in those contexts, it is all, you can say, Gaunam Brahma, because it is all only like you are superimposing some guna on the Brahman and doing upasana for upasana phala. That is all Gaunam Brahma. But here it is Aparokshat, means it is Sakshat Aparokshat, means it is, we are talking about Mukhyam Brahma, the main Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, correct? Which is the limitless Brahman, and also Nirupadhika Brahman we are talking about, Param Brahma. So that Sakshat Aparokshat, it is, and it is Sarvantaraha, it is there in everybody, everything. It is the self of all, and it is Ashanayadi Samsara Dharma Varjitaha. So it is free from all this Samsara Dharma, including eating, drinking, etc. So in this manner, Ityevam Vijnayaha, it has to be known in this manner. Okay. And that is also Prasiddham. Iti Tavat Prasiddham. It is well known that you have to know the Atma in this manner, because Upanishads are revealing in that manner. And Sarvahi Yam Upanishad, Evam Pareti, Vidhyantara Sheshatvam Tavan Nasti. Okay, see, if you say, because one of the arguments of the Purva Pakshi is that it can be Arthavada Matrena, because it is just to praise this Jnanam only, this Vyuthaya Bhikshacharyam is there and all. If you say, for Arthavada, the Arthavada has to be always part of some other Vidhi. So Vidhi Sheshatvam we call it. Okay. So any Arthavada has to be part of some Vidhi. That is what is called Sheshatvam. Sheshatvam means it is a part of, it is one portion or something like that. But here, all the Upanishads are only dedicated for revealing this Atma, and Atma itself is to be known in this manner. Therefore, this Vyuthaya Bhikshacharyam Charanti cannot be taken as some Vidhi Shesha. It cannot be attached to any Vidhi at all, in fact. If at all, you have to attach it only to the Atma Vare Shrotavyaha Mantavyaha Nididhyasitavyaha, to that alone. Therefore, it is part of that. It cannot be attached to any other Karma Kanda Vidhi also. Okay? Therefore, you cannot say it is some Arthavada. So therefore it is not an Arthavada, Bhashyakara says. Okay, because all Upanishads are talking about Atma Jnanam, and this is also Atma Jnana Sadhanam. Therefore, Shruti is doing, it is mandating you this, that you have to give up all your desires for all these limited things, turn away from them and take to a life of sannyasa. That is what the Shruti is mandating. Therefore, it is not Arthavada, Ataha na Arthavadaha, and it is not having any Vidhi. Vidhi Antara Sheshatva means some other Vidhi. With some other Vidhi, it does not become a part of that. Why? Because Atma Jnanasya Kartavyatvat. Atma Jnana has been, it has been mandated, correct? Here. Drashtavyaha, Shrotavyaha, Mantavyaha iti. And for the purpose of Atma Jnanam, this sannyasa has been also given as a sadhana. Therefore, it follows that this is also a vidhi. Whatever is attached to the other vidhi, this, and also the same person is doing. That argument also will come later, because we say that Jnatva Vyuthaya Bhikshacharyam Charanti. Three things are there. Okay. Three verbs are there. All the three are done by the same person. And if one is with this Jnatva has a vidhi, Drashtavyaha, Shrotavyaha, Mantavyaha iti. Therefore, all others also follow from there, means there also vidhi also will be there in everything. Like this, there is an argument here. So Atma cha Ashanayadi Dharmavan na bhavati iti sadhana phala vilakshanaha jnatavyaha. So this Atma has to be known as something which does not have all these qualities, like the one with hunger or one with thirst, etc. Therefore, what it is? Sadhana phala vilakshanaha. So it doesn't have any samsara dharma, means it is also free from all the means and ends also. In fact, Atma is already sadhya. It is a sadhya vastu. It is sakshat aparokshat, in fact. So whatever is, it is only accomplishing the accomplished. In this case, it is not accomplishing an unaccomplished thing. Therefore, there is no phala. It is not a karma phala, and therefore you don't require any karma or karma sadhana also. It is free from all that. It is vilakshanaha. It is separate. It is different from all that. That's how you have to know the Atma Swarupam also, that it is akarta, abhokta, all that. Therefore, ataha avyatirekena atmanaha jnanam avidya. So if you now know this Atma as also having all this sadhana phala vilakshana, let us say, lakshanaha. So actually this Vakya, there are two readings are there. One reading is Ataha Vyatirekena Atmanaha Jnanam Avidya also you can take. That means if you take the Atma as something, different Atmas are there, separate Atmas, then it is Avidya, because there is only one Atma which is Sarvantaraha. Or if you take the reading as Avyatirekena also, it is meaningful in the sense that, see here we said Sadhana Phala Vilakshanaha. But if you take it as Avyatireka, means sadhana phala lakshanaha, it will become. It is one with sadhana and phala and all that, if you take like that. So ataha avyatirekena atmanaha jnanam. So if you take the Atma as something which is subjected to all these means and ends, then it is avidya only. That kind of Atma jnanam is avidya. Therefore, what in fact that is actually condemned in the Upanishad itself. Anyaha asau, anyaha aham asmi iti nasa veda. 1.4.10 we already saw. This is called Avidya Sutram. Okay, there is a Vidya Sutram, Atma ityeva upasita. Then there is an Avidya Sutram. Anyaha asau, this whoever is the Devata, that Devata is separate and I am separate. Anyaha aham. This is the Vitireka Atma Jnanam. If you know like that, then that person does not really know himself. Nasa Veda. And then what happens to him? 4.4.11 later on it will come. Mrityoho sa mrityum apnoti ya iha nana iva pashyati. The one who sees nana iva, even, that's all. You have to see it as though it is many. Means then you have to, you go from death to death. So the nana darshana has been condemned, and also how you have to see ekadha eva anudrashtavyam. You have to know this Atma only in one manner, that it is It is homogeneous, conscious being. That is the only way you should know this Atma, which is limitless in fact. And Ekameva Advitiyam Tattvamasi and all these Shrutis are there. Chandogya Upanishad. Therefore, this whole lifestyle also has to be in keeping with this vision. That is the whole idea Bhashyakara is trying to point out here. And only the sannyasa ashrama or parivrajyam alone is the nearest, you can say, because even during parivrajya you have to, deha dharanam is there for even a sannyasi. For that purpose you have to do something. But other than that, you are not doing anything with a desire to achieve something. That desire is totally gone. You do not think that I have to do something, I have to gain something to be happy. That thinking is there only for an ajnani. For a jnani, it can never be there. And jnani also looks upon oneself in a totally different manner. Therefore, the lifestyle also should reflect that. That's all Bhashyakara is saying there. And kriya phalam sadhanam ashanayadi samsara dharma atitat atmanaha anyat avidya vishayam. So now he points the contrast. So he says kriya phalam sadhanam, all these things, if you take the results of action and the means for action, let us say, or means for that end, they all what? Ashanayadi samsara dharma atitat atmanaha anyat. So this samsara dharma is there if you are going after all this kriya phala and sadhana, correct? But atma is separate. It is transcends all this hunger, thirst, etc. But kriya phala sadhanam is atmanaha anyat, the atma which is transcending this hunger and thirst, etc. From that, this results of action and the means of action, etc., or even taking oneself as a karta, doer, it's all something different from Atma. Atma is akarta, abhokta. And if you take the Atma as a karta, bhokta only, it is all avidya vishayam. It's all only a subject matter of ignorance. Therefore, and that also the Upanishads are talking about. See, yatra hi dvaitamiva bhavati. So, dvaitamiva bhavati, this we already saw in 2.4. So, where there is, as though there is dvaita, then only you have all the samsara, etc. Again, he is quoting 1.4.10 also. Anyaha asau anyaha aham asmiti nasaveda atha ye anyathathaha viduhu ityadi vakya shatebhyaha, he says. So many places in the Shruti, the Dvaita Darshana is condemned, or the Dvaita Darshana is shown as avidya vishaya. Okay. So that's what he is pointing out here. So in the Vidya Dasha, for a jnani, all this samsara dharma being not there, the kriya karaka phala has no relevance. Okay. So nacha vidya vidye ekasya purushasya sahabhavata. The other thing is, Purva Pakshi can say, no, even jnani has to do. Okay. Means, no. The vidya and avidya cannot coexist in the same person. You cannot say that Shruti only saying that also, Shruti only saying this also. So why don't you be both? That is not possible. Both is not possible because they are opposed to each other. Virodhat, Bhashyakara. What kind of virodha? Tamah prakashav iva. Like even light and darkness, they are opposed to each other. Tasmat atma vidaha avidya vishayaha adhikaraha na drashtavyaha kriya karaka phala beda rupaha. Therefore what? For the atmavidaha avidya vishayaha, whatever is avidya vishaya, all this kriya karaka phala beda rupaha. So whatever is in the form of action and factors of action and results of action, etc., all these divisions are there with reference to karma. And they are all avidya vishaya. And in that, the atmavit has no adhikara. He is not qualified for all that. Okay, atmavit has transcended all that, and atmavit is no more qualified for all these things. and mrityoho sa mrityum apnoti ityadi ninditatvat. Also it has been those who are avidyavan, for them that they are going from death to death, like that it has been condemned also explicitly. Therefore what? Sarva kriya sadhana phalanam cha avidya vishayanam tad viparita atma vidyaya hatavyattvena ishtatvat. So all the sarva kriya, all the action and the results and the means for action, etc., being avidya vishaya, and atma vidya being different from that or opposed to that, tad viparita. So it is viparita from all these things. Therefore, it has all these kriya, karaka, phala has to be given up. Hatavyattvena, ishtam, that is desirable. To give up all these things is desirable. And therefore, what? Yajnopavita sadhananancha sad vishayatvat. And Yajnopavita, whatever I told before, correct, that you have to give up all the lingas, like Yajnopavita, etc. They are also sadhana for kriya, karaka, phala only. They are all accessories to that or means for that. And they also have to be, and they also being avidya vishaya. Tat vishayatvat means they are all avidya vishaya only. Therefore, you have to give them up. That is the point here. Therefore, what? Tasmat asadhana palasvabhavat atmanaha anya vishaya vilakshana yeshana. So this atma being asadhana palasvabhava. So its very nature is that it has got no relationship between means and ends and all that. Okay. And it is something different from all these longings and desires. So yeshana vilakshana anya vishaya. So the yeshana, the desiring and having a longing and all that are desirable objects, or the objects for which you long for, etc. They are all something different. They are all separate or different from this Atma. And that's what is said by the Upanishad also. Ubehyete sadhana phale yeshane eva bhavataha yajnopavita dehe tat sadhya karmanancha sadhanatvat ubehyete yeshane eva iti hetu vachanena avadharanat. So the Upanishad is categorizing all the desires into desires for means and ends, and it is saying that these are the two types of desires. And yajnopavitadi sadhya, the yajnopavitadehe, so the yajnopavita etc. are all what? That sadhya karmanam cha sadhanatvat. They are all only means for all these ends. Okay, the karma, to do the karma you have to have all these yajnopavita etc. And karma itself is a means for attaining some end. All these things, that it being so, what? Therefore we have to give up. And Upanishad is saying that only ubehyete yeshane eva, like that it is said here. So the yeshana only is the hetu for all these things, for all the putra, vitta, etc. They are all this desire for means and ends only is the cause for all kinds of samsara dharma also. It is shown hetu vachana avadharana. If there is a hetu vachana, this whatever vachana the Upanishad is saying here, this is a hetu vachana which points out the cause for the samsara, and Atma is asamsari. Therefore, one has to give it up. So yajnopavitadi sadhanat sat sadhyebhyascha karmabhyah avidya vishayatvat yeshana rupatvacha jihasitavya rupatvacha vyuthanam viditsitam yeva. Now Bhashyakara summarizes finally. So all these yajnopavita etc. which are all means for the different sadhyas, for the ends, which are all again karma only, which is all karma and karma phala, and they are all avidya vishaya, and they are in the form of the desired vishayas, the desired objects, and they are all jihasitavya rupa. They are all in the form of something which you have to give up. Okay. Therefore, what this vyuthanam is mandated, he says. Vyuthaya also, Bhashyakara is taking that verb form as having given up only, it is there. The meaning for yuthaya is having given up these desires. But that having given up also, Bhashyakara takes the meaning as you have to give up. Okay, there is a vidhi, he says. Yutthanam viditsitam. So it has been mandated that you have to give up all these things for the purpose of, or for the sake of self-knowledge. Like this, he summarizes finally. So the Purva Paksha also was so big, and now the Siddhanta Bhashyakara is given here. Now the Purva Pakshi comes again. He says, Nanu Upanishadaha Atma Jnana Paratvat Yuthana Shrutihi Tat Sutyartha Na Vidihi. So again, the Purva Pakshi has a point here. He says, see, I accept, okay, Upanishad and all is Atma Jnana Para. That's fine, but where is the Vidhi here? Why can't you simply take this as a stuti? Atma Vidya stuti you can take. I have no problem. Why are you bringing all this Vidhi when there is no Vidhi explicitly in the form of Ling Lottavya? That is the point now. Okay, so the Purva Pakshi has now accepted, okay, this Atma Jnana Param only Upanishads are, but the Vyuthaya part, why are you taking that Vyuthaya as a Vidhi? Vyuthaya is just having given up, like that only the meaning comes. There is no mandate there. Why don't you simply take it as stuti only? Vyuttana Shruti, tat stutyartha, it is only for the purpose of praising the Atma Jnanam, and it is not a Vidhi. Like this, he says, no, Bhashyakara doesn't agree. He says, na vidhitsita vijnanena samana kartrikatva shravana. So this is the point I told already. So what Bhashyakara is saying, Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididhyasitavya, and all, whatever, Drashtavya, these are all Vidhi, because Tavya Pratyaya is there. Now this is connected to that, because if you see, knowing part is there, correct? See, Etam Vaitam Atmanam Viditva is there. The Viditva, there is a Vidhi for the knowing part. That is very clear, because there is a Tavya Pratyaya. So once you are talking about an action which is mandated, everything which flows from that for the same person also is doing that. It's not like one person is knowing, another person is giving up the desires and all that. It is the same person, because it is in the same sentence. All these three verb forms are there. So Bhashyakara is saying it is samana. So here you can see samana kartrikatva shravanat. So the same karta, the same doer has to know. There is a vidhi for that. So having known, one has to give up all the desires for all these limited things, and also take to sannyasa lifestyle. Means the vidhi flows from that viditva. That's what Bhashyakara. So viditsita vijnanena samana kartrikatva shravanat is the point he is making. And he is also saying explicitly, he says, nahi akartavyena kartavyasya samana kartrikatvena vede kadachit api shravanam sambhavati. See, once Veda has mandated something, and as part of that, it is also asking you to do certain other things, right? It is saying you will do this, they are doing this, and all that. That vidhi flows. Okay, once the kartavya has been talked about, in connection to that, whatever action is being talked about can never be akartavya. It is all again kartavya only. So whatever is to be done, one action has been talked about, everything done by the same person in connection to that also have to be taken as something, as a mandated thing only. There is no option or anything there. So akartavyena kartavyasya samana kartrikatvam cannot be there, he says. If you say that, okay, one person has been mandated for knowing, some other person we are talking about for giving up the desires and going to, or taking up a lifestyle of sannyasa, means that is okay, but here it is not like that. The samana kartrikatvam is very important. So in the Veda, anywhere you cannot interpret like this. So we do not hear like that anywhere. Therefore, what kartavya manam eva hi abhishava homa bhakshanam yata shravanam. So here Bhashyakara is giving the example of Somayaga. So abhishava means basically that Soma creeper, you have to crush it and get the juice, correct? That is called Abhishava. So you get the juice, then you do the homa, then whatever is left over, you have to drink. So the Soma Yaga has been mandated, and as part of that, it doesn't always say that you have to do like that. It is simply saying, now you do, now this is done, then this is done, then this is done, like that. So the vidhi flows, correct? So similarly here also, so there also it is said in fact like this only. Abhishutya hutva bhakshayanti. So the one who does Somayaga will crush all the Soma. Okay. So he crushes the Soma, he offers it in the fire, and whatever is left he drinks. Like this it is said. So there you cannot say, since it is only saying he drinks, it is not there like he should drink or you should drink. There is no vidhi. The vidhi is already there. And afterwards, whatever verbal forms are all used, in that the vidhi flows anyway. Okay. Because the samana kartrikatva is there. So to whomever Somayaga has been mandated, that person only is doing all these things, means these are also only mandated. That is the idea here. That is the principle Bhashyakara is talking about. So Abhishutya Hutva Bhakshayanti iti Tadvat Atma Jnana Yeshana Vyuthana Bhikshacharyanam Kartavyanam Eva Samana Kartrikatva Shravanam Bhavet. So similarly here also Atma Jnana has been the vidhi is there for that. Then Yeshana Vyuthana Bhikshacharyanam also it has to be done. If Atma Jnanam has to be done means whatever you have to take effort to gain this Atma Jnana, correct? That is the mandation we are talking about. Then these things also are mandated with reference to that, because the same person is supposed to do all these things that we are hearing from the Shruti. Further, avidya vishayatvat yeshanatvacha artha praptaha atma jnana virodhe videhe eva yajnopavitadi parityagaha natu vidhatavyaha iti chet. Okay, now the Purva Pakshi comes back. See, this avidya vishaya, okay, and yeshana, all these things are all these yeshana are all avidya vishaya. Okay, that meaning is implied, correct? For an Atma Jnani, these things are all against, because Atma itself is not having any hunger or thirst, etc. And hunger, thirst, and all that are samsara dharma, which are all avidya vishaya. By implication only, it is known that the one who is an Atma Jnani need not do all these things. Why should there be a vidhi then? This is another type of question. He says, this is implied. For an Atma Jnani, naturally he will give up all these things because he is anyway not interested in any karma or karma phala. Why should there be a vidhi for that? Vidhi is infructuous or it is superfluous. This is the argument he is making, the Purva Pakshi now. It need not be mandated. Natu vidhatavyaha, he says. It need not be mandated because it follows from Atma Jnanam alone, it follows any avidya vishaya will be given up. It is natural for the jnani. Why should any vidhi be there? Means that also Bhashyakara doesn't accept. He says, na Sutaram Atma Jnana Vidhina Eva Vihitasya Samana Kartrikatva Shravanena Dhardhya Upapattihi, he says. See, this Atma, I agree. In fact, Bhashyakara in one way agrees. He says, correct. By implication, whatever you are saying is correct. But the Atma Jnana Vidhi is there. That has been done. And then Samana Kartrikatvam also is pointed out here. Therefore, taking this as the vidhi will give you dhardhyam, means what it is. It is emphatic now. It emphasizes, it makes it into a strong point. Okay, it is emphasized. The emphasis is useful. Therefore, let us take it as vidhi only. Also, your argument that this present tense and all doesn't apply in Chandasam. Okay, because there are so many places where present tense is taken as vidhi also. even by the Purvamimamsakas. So now he is pointing that out finally. So you cannot say that I am doing this, that I am taking the present tense as a some kind of a linglotavya. Hey, it's not that I am the only one who is doing that. There are examples for that also already, and he's saying that now. What is that? So yat punaha uktam. Okay, tata bhikshacharyasya cha. Okay, that's what basically he's saying. This Dardhya is there, therefore Bhikshacharya has to be, the Vyuthana and Bhikshacharya has to be taken as Vidhi only, the statements. And also he says, Yat Punaha Uktam Vartamana Apadeshat Arthavada Matramiti. So why can't we take it as only Arthavada because of Vartamana Apadesha? Means the present tense is used, correct? Means na. Why? Because Audumbara, Upadi, Vidhi Samanatvat, Adoshaha. So Audumbara, Audumbaraha, Yupaha, Bhavati, like that it is there. So, in the context of a particular yajna, Yupa means it is the stamba, the pole. And Audumbara is the one type of tree, okay? Even in Vishnu Sahasranama, it comes Nyagrododumbarot. Yeah, Nyagrododumbaroshvatta Ashwattaha, like that. Nyagrodaha, Audumbaraha, Ashwattaha, these three trees are mentioned. They are all our sacred trees. In fact, we are growing all these trees here in our place. Audumbaraha is Atti Maram in Tamil. I don't know what it is in other languages, or even some botanical name also will be there. So this is a very sacred tree, a fig tree, correct. Audumbaraha is fig tree. In Atti is called fig tree in English. And so that Atti, the wood, the fig wood is a very famous wood. In fact, in Kanchipuram, there is a Vardaraja temple is there. In that there is a Vardaraja made up of this Atti Maram only, the Audumbara wood. And it is there for 40 years under water. Only once in 40 years they bring this, they call him Atti Varadar. Okay, the Vardaraja made up of this particular Audumbara wood is taken, and then puja and all they do, and it's a huge crowds come to see. So in fact, I went there as a child, I think in 1980 or something. This Attivaradar was there. Again, he came out in 2020. But whenever he comes out, they say there are some difficulties and all that. In the 1980s, we had lot of drought, etc. Now we had corona and all that. Anyway, but that Attivarada is very famous. Audumbara. Anyway, so the point here is there it is Audumbaraha, Yupaha, Bhavati. Bhavati is only present tense, but it is taken as a vidhi that Audumbara, Yupa only you have to use. So like that, there is no dosha in considering this Charanti or even Vyuthaya, etc. as vidhi. Like this, he concludes this. And now he again makes the point here. Vyuthaya bhikshacharyam charanti iti anena parivrajyam vidhiyate. So he now concludes, he says, parivrajya only has been mandated. And parivrajya means basically you don't even stay in one place for more than 3 nights. So the parivrajakaha, parivrad means he is roaming, the roaming sannyasi. He doesn't want to have any attachment to any place or anything. So they keep moving around. That's how there were wandering monks were there in India. Nowadays, I don't know how feasible this kind of a life. It may be feasible. See, in India, you can do this. Even now, if somebody keeps walking through villages and all that, villagers will take care of you. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But nobody does it nowadays, or very few people do it. In fact, Narmada Parikrama and all people go, correct? They walk around the Narmada for 6 months or months. And you have everywhere, there are places where they take care of you. You can stay, they give you food. You don't need to have anything. So like that, this parikrama and parivrajyam and all is possible in India still. It may not be possible in US. You may not even see a house for miles. But here at least, mostly some civilization you will see within walking distance every day, even if you walk, assuming that. So, this parivraja lifestyle is possible. And it has been mandated, Bhashyakara says. And Parivrajya Ashramecha Yagnopavitadi Sadhanani Vihitani Lingam Cha Shrutibihi Smritibhischa. So this sadhanani, all this whatever has been and the indicators, the lingam, etc., by whatever has been mandated by the Shruti and Smriti, etc., in that Parivrajya Ashrama, it will not be there. Okay, Ataha tat varjayitva anyasmad vithanam yeshanatve api iti chet. Okay, sorry, this is the Purva Pakshi is talking up to this Bhashyakara. Okay, Vyuthaya Bhikshacharyam Charanti Ityanena Parivrajyam Vidhiyate. So Parivrajya has been mandated. Now, here Purva Pakshi says, no, even in Parivrajya Ashrama, in some texts, because there are Yati Dharma Shastra and all is there. Even for Yatis, there is a Dharma Shastra. And there are texts, even in Shruti, in Smriti, he says, the Purva Pakshi is saying, Yagnopavitadi Sadhanani Vihitani, he says. So these Yagnopavitani, Sadhanani and Lingam, etc., the indicators, signs of different ashramas and all have been mandated, even in Parivrajya Ashrama. Therefore, he is now giving a new meaning. He says, you have to keep all that, and then, but you can give up other things. Ataha tad varjayitva. So whatever has been vihita, whatever has been mandated in the Shruti and Smriti, you have to keep that. You cannot give up the Yagnopavita and the Lingas, the signs, etc. But keeping them, rest of the things, anyasmad vithyanam yeshanatve api iti chet, he says. So why can't we leave the other things, but you have to still keep all these things? Because I see there is like this. There are statements mandating this even for Yati. Now Bhashyakara will differentiate between the Parivrajya which is said here and an Ashrama Parivrajya. In fact, even before he made a mention of this Ashrama Matram, like that, I think we saw that somewhere here, I think. So Kevala Ashrama Matra Sharananam Jivana Sadhanam Parivrajya Venjakam Smart Tektva Smartam Lingam, he said, which are all for Kevala Ashrama Matra Sharanana, means those who have taken the ashrama not for the purpose of Atmajnana or as a result of Atmajnana, but like a Jivana Sadhana, they for them all that is there. So Bhashyakara also accepts there is a Parivrajya Ashrama in which people have all these lingas and people do wear Yajnopavita, etc. But he differentiates that from whatever is being talked about here in the context of Atmajnanam. So here, Ataha tad varjayitva anyad vyuthanam, he says. So this also is not acceptable to Bhashyakara. He says, no. Why? Vijnana samana kartrikat parivrajyat yeshana vyuthana lakshanat parivrajya antaropapatte. So he says, the parivrajya you are talking about is different. There is one more parivrajya antara, he says. There is another parivrajya which is again has to be done along with this Atmajnanam and giving up all the desires, etc. So Yeshana Vyuthana, that is characterized by Yeshana Vyuthana. So Yeshana Vyuthana means you have anyway given up all the karma sadhana, etc. Therefore, then what is the purpose of all this Yajnopavita and Linga and all that? They are all also accessories only for that. So why should you support these things alone, carry these things alone once you have transcended all that? So this Parivrajya I am talking about is a different Parivrajya from what you are saying. Okay, this is with reference to Atmajnanam, Vijnana Samana Kartrikat. So it is done by somebody who has Vijnana, Atmajnanam, like this. Bhashyakara says, Yadhi tat yeshanabhyaha vithana lakshanam parivrajyam tat Atmajnanangam Atmajnana virodhi yeshana parityaga rupatvat avidya vishayatvacha yeshanayaha. So, see, only if it is turning away from all these desires, etc. Correct? Then only that is parivrajya, he says. In this context, and also then only it is part of Atmajnana Anga. If it is not that, you say, no, still I'll be doing karma, I will support all the Yajnopavita and Linga, etc., then that parivrajya cannot be a result of moving away from all the desires and also be part of this Atmajnanam. It cannot be an Atmajnana Anga. Why? Because Atmajnana Virodhi Yeshana Parityaga Rupatvat. So because anyway, you have to give up all the Yeshana which are opposed to Atmajnanam. And Yeshanas themselves are Avidya Vishaya. That also he again repeats, Avidya Vishayatvacha Yeshanayaha. So from Yeshana, and again, all these Yajnopavitadi sadhana are linked to the Yeshana. Or if you don't have any desire to do any karma and karma sadhana itself, all the things are, you have transcended, then what is the point in keeping these accessories to karma? That is the point here. Also, tad vetirekena cha asti ashrama rupam parivrajyam brahmalokadi phalaprapti sadhanam. So Bhashyakara points out there is another parivrajya. In fact, many people, there is a tradition like that. Just before dying, people will take sannyasa. Apat sannyasa also it is called sometimes, but they are all not Atmajnani or anything. But they think that by becoming a sannyasi, you go to Brahmaloka. There is even a statement like that. Okay. Sannyasa grahanam brahmastam, or some statement is there. So if you take sannyasa even at the time of death, even though you are not a jnani, you take sannyasa, that taking the sannyasa ashrama itself is supposed to give you certain punya and you will go to Brahmaloka like that. Or you can take the ashrama sannyasa and follow all the rules of that and you will go to Brahmaloka. Of course, here the assumption is you have done the other ashramas also, karma, upasana and all that properly. Otherwise, I don't think just taking sannyasa alone will not work out. This is for those who have done karma, upasana, everything. They have gained lot of punya already. And then finally they take sannyasa also. And then they can go to, that is a phalaprapti sadhana. That becomes a means for going to Brahmaloka. Of course, if they go to Brahmaloka and they have enough punya, Brahmaji himself will teach the same thing to them. That can be taken as a Krama Mukti also we talk about. Even in Brahma Sutra also, Krama Mukti is talked about. Krama Mukti means this moksha in a certain steps in series, correct? Sadhyo Mukti, whatever we talk about as jnana here and the moksha which is the result of that is called Sadhyo Mukti, means immediately you are free by knowing. But Krama Mukti means you have to go to Brahma Loka, and then if Brahmaji teaches there, then you will become Mukta there, like that. Anyway, so here, Yad Vishayam Yajnopavitadi Sadhana Vidhanam Linga Vidhanancha. So this Yajnopavitadi Sadhana Vidhana and all the Linga Vidhana, whatever you are talking about, is all for this kind of Parivrajya Ashrama. It is not what I am saying. What I am saying is something different from what you are saying. Like this Bhashyakara is arguing here. In fact, this argument will go for some more time. And we'll see the rest of the things next week. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.